Speedy drives were very hard to find. I mean, these are like almost hitting a lottery, man. You couldn't find these in many places, man.
Now, what was so special about those? Just because they were so tiny and like compact?
They were tiny, yeah, they were compact. You know, they were easy to rack up too, because you could actually put them in your pockets, man, and walk out with them because they were so small. I think we had some stores in Long Island. Long Island and Westchester, we were getting some of these, man. But I mean, we really didn't go after these. If they were there, we would take them. But it was like they're so small, you really wouldn't get much out of them. You know?
Yeah, they were just convenient to
rack. Exactly, you know? But I mean, you try to do a filling with this, I mean, you're on your second letter and it's already gone, paint, so. It was just something that was there and we took it, that's all, you know?
Where's the painting behind you? Where is that from? Where are you right there in that?
This one up here?
Yeah, yeah.
That was done by an Australian artist called Karen Farmer, and I found her on Instagram. And this was done off a picture of me standing on the layup, on the floor layup. I believe this was probably 77 or 78 because I'm wearing the bell bottoms. I remember that. And I don't know if you can make this out here. This was an ad for a Belmont Park back in the day. This was Maxwell Coffee ad. That's what they used to have back like then. And I believe this might have been Fordham Road. I just can't make it up. I'm just trying to look at the buildings in the background. It looks like I was probably on Fordham Road. And it's like it's probably the beginning of the layup, running all the way up to Kingsbridge and into Bedford Park. That's where they go. And it used to go also. Because layups, sometimes they would lay up long, sometimes they wouldn't. The floor layups, sometimes they go all the way from 183rd, all the way up into Bedford Park. And it would stop. And sometimes it would go from Fordham Road all the way up into Bedford Park or just into Kingsbridge. You know, that's the way it was. They would lay them up long, they would lay them up short. You know, it depends. If they had enough room in the yard, they wouldn't lay them up long. But yeah, she's a good artist. She's a great artist, as a matter of fact. And she did good, man.
That's amazing painting.
She looked out, yeah.
Super talented. That's oils too, right?
Yeah, I think she said it took 2 weeks for it to dry before she sent it back out to me.
Yeah, oil take a long time to dry.
Yeah, but that's me, man. I think it was 17 back then. Going to the Zeppelin concerts and Sabbath concerts. And
yeah, well, I've seen all the pieces where you throwing up Zeppelin and shit.
Yeah, well, that's it's like people, I seen them dispute the other day about hip hop and graffiti and this and that, and we were listening to a lot of rock, disco.
It just goes hand in hand with the painting. It doesn't matter if it's hip hop. Music goes hand in hand with painting.
Yeah, it does go hand in hand. But back then we were listening to like disco, hip hop. We were listening to, even some blues and even some Barry Whites and other, all that
all
other
different
stuff.
Types of shit.
Yeah. I mean, it was out there. I mean, there was the music. I think out there was I mean, you had so much more of a choice of music back then too. Actually, today people listen to a lot of the same music, man. You had the rock, you had the soul, you had the disco, you had the blues, R&B. I mean, you had all that variety of music back then. It's just today. It's just different. You don't have that variety no more. But yeah, we would tag our favorite bands in our pieces sometimes. At that time we were going to see them in concert too. They were putting out all the new albums and all that. And every time a band put out an album, they would tour behind it. So we were catching it. Like me, when I went to Zeppelin, I didn't have tickets. I think they were there for 6 days. It was in '77.
The Garden,
Madison Square Garden. Yeah, Madison Square Garden. I didn't have tickets. I went down there. I tried to sneak in all 6 days. The last night, I handed an usher a $5 bill, and he let me in.
Damn.
Last night I got lucky. I was so happy.
That's awesome.
It was because for some reason that concert, I used to sneak in other ones. It was a little bit easier. Even through the felt form, they used to have something called the felt form. But inside the garden, it was called the felt form. We used to go in there and out of there into the garden. We couldn't do it. So that was the only shot I had. I said, let me just try to give this guy some money, see if he lets me in. And he let me in, man. And it was a great concert, man. Was it 3 hours? About 3 hours. But that's the music we were listening to, and then, you know, those were the times. Going to concerts, listening to music, rock music, all disco, all the other stuff. I wasn't such a big disco fan, but I did listen to a little bit of it. I liked the Bee Gees a lot. They were great. And you know, that was all with the graffiti. Everything was like with the trains, the rack, and it's all stuff we were doing as kids.
It's cool shit.
Just enjoying ourselves, growing up, enjoying ourselves. A lot better times than today. I believe. We were out.
I know.
We would leave our house like we were going to school. And we would hang out all day. We would get back home. We would go racking. Then we would make sure we try to get back home before 3 so we can go home like we were coming back from school. And then we go back out again. So we were out most of the day. I mean, we'd be out. We'd be coming back home 10 o'clock at night sometimes. So the whole day just about we were out.
It's amazing.
You know? That's how it was. It was everything you did.
Nobody does that shit no more.
No,
dude.
because everybody's on their phone these days, man. It's
fucking sucks.
It's just a different world altogether. It's not the same world, but that's the times we live in.
Kid, I want to just ask you, yeah, I want to make sure that we give proper credit to the guy who supplied us with all this great memorabilia today.
These cans came from Cavs and Key, which I want to thank for letting me borrow these. And I'll bring them back to you, don't worry, they're coming back. But yeah, I want to give them props. These cans here, there was a story we used to, when we would go in the yard a lot, you know, someone like Boots. Boots was very particular with his paint. He would go in the yard, but I think there's, like, one particular time we went in the foreyard. I think he was doing a piece with Knock. It was me, Bear 167, Knock, Mark 198, Cuda, and Boots. Boots would always, like, you know that on the bottom of the door of the train they have a little lip. That's where we would line up our paint. But him, he was always particular. He would line up his paint in special colors, and he'd have his caps all lined up a certain way. And you couldn't touch him. He would get mad if you go near his paint. But he was, people, you know, like that, writers had different ways, you know, of going into the yard and setting themselves up. But Boots was like one of those guys who was like, everything had to be perfect. With the colors, the cans, and the caps. And then they were peace. You know, Boots was out there doing work too with us, man. Boots was another guy, man. He was doing some nice work also. We had a good crew, man. We were tight-knit. Only when we went out of the crew is when we had trouble with other writers, you know. When we tried to go with other writers' piece, and that's when the problem started, man.
Well, tell me a story about D3, Kit. What's that about?
That was, we were racking. Sometimes we would go racking. Sometimes we'd have an extra guy with us. And we would go in the store and rack and just have bags of paint. He would just hang on to the paint while we were going and racking up. You know, we would just travel like that. Because we didn't want to leave the paint out on the street because somebody might snatch it, you know. Because once we accumulated like 15, 20, 30 cans, we didn't just want to leave it or even leave it in the garbage pail or nothing because they would grab it and we would go out for nothing. So sometimes some guy would hang out with us, man, you know. He'd go in sometimes and rack too or vice versa. You know, and he'll go in and we'll watch the paint, and we'll go in and he watches the paint. But one day we were in Queens, I believe it's Queens or Brooklyn, one of those places. It was me and Mark, and it's a big window, and we're racking. And there's one of those guys I was telling you about, the plainclothes guys that walk around in the store and follow you. But this time we didn't catch him. We didn't know it. But D was watching him, watch us. After we had racked up. So he said he took the cans of paint, the bags of paint, he said he hit them under a car and he ran in the store. He says, yo, drop the load, the guy's seen you, drop the load. The guy's seen you, so. You know, Mark emptied out his, I emptied out mine. I really didn't want it, but I did anyway. And D went back out, and as we're walking out of the store, these two guys stop us. And they say, you come downstairs, because they had like a stairway in the basement. Come downstairs, we got to talk to you and check you, man. We think we stole something from here. So They made us empty out our pockets. I'd take off our jackets, look in our pants, take off our shoes, everything. He couldn't find nothing. The guy was so fucking heated, man. Because he says, I fucking seen you guys steal it, man. I seen you guys steal it, man. What the fuck did you do with the painting? And that day, God bless his soul too, D3, he saved us, man, from getting pinched. Because we definitely would have got caught that day. But D was there and he looked out good, man.
That's fucking good.
Yep.
I love stories like that.
Yep.
That's great.
There were a lot of them back then, man. But he did good that day, man.
I appreciate you coming through and taking the time to do this stuff with me, man, because this is... a lot of people appreciate the history behind it and need to know the real shit.
There's always a story behind these cans, you know? People are going to say, yo, I remember this one here, like I did. I did a whole car with this one. And then you have a story like, yeah, when the tunnel that day, I did the whole car, you know? And nobody, nobody ever, really talked about that, man. They always collect them. A lot of collectors out of there, they collected them, but, there's also stories behind them.
And that's the one, Marvin. That's the silver tuna.